This video is sponsored by Disney, and upon rewatching Daredevil Born Again, as we just did that yesterday, it's actually a bit better than when we watched the first time week by week when it was coming out.
It feels better upon a rewatch, mainly because, at least for me, that anticipation, that pressure, that
The expectations
anxiety,
of it.
the expectations of it dropped drastically after the first watch. I think for both of us, more so for Griffin. And so this time I was able to, I didn't do what Griffin did, which was binge watch it. I saw 2 episodes the first night, 3 episodes the next time, and so I was able to take it in a little bit easier. And so it's more enjoyable for me. I still think Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, Deborah Ann Wool, and John Barenthal are phenomenal in these roles. And so is, I don't want to say everyone else in this cast, because there are people that we're missing.
Yeah.
But Vanessa Fisk is amazing in this show. In the previous show, she was great, but she was just a loving
She had a role
wife.
here. Yeah, she had more of a
Here,
character.
she's very much in charge of, all the illegal stuff going on. So I like that. I like Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil. There are scenes where I'm like, yeah, I totally get that. You know that he loses his best friend. I'm using quotation marks because I, as well as Griffin, believe that Foggy's out there somewhere. There's a comic book run, The Secret Life of Foggy Nelson. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't read it, go read it. And if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where Foggy's out there, living his life. He's in the protection service or something like that. It's just I was never a fan of that particular story, so I'm not going to be a fan of it here. But it all points to him actually being alive, and that, as always, as it did with, when there was talks about RDJ returning as Tony Stark, I was like, that cheapens his sacrifice.
It sucks.
Here, if Foggy comes back, although I love Foggy and I want him to come back, and I know he's Matt Murdock's best friend, it's just gonna be like, oh, you were alive all this fucking time. And then so Matt gets to be, I would be mad because remember, guys, when Foggy gave Matt all that shit for being a vigilante, and he was like, you're living a double life. Well, now if Matt's not mad at Foggy and like, what the hell, bro, you didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna understand Matt for not being upset. I would be. If Karen's probably gonna smack his ass. She's gonna be like, what the hell, dude? We were at your funeral. I don't really understand that if they go that way. But I like how it opens, man. We get to see Nelson, Murdock, and Paige. Very briefly,
Finally.
we get to see that. And I was very happy because at the end of season 3, when Foggy writes on that napkin, Daredevil got canceled. And so we were like, damn, we're never going to get to see Karen become a lawyer. That kind of blows. Because she, for better or for worse, she had a lot of growth. We always talk about these characters who don't get character development. And, dude, you talk about character development. Karen went from an assistant at some crazy-ass firm to being a victim, to being terrorized, to being saved by Daredevil, to becoming their secretary, to becoming a paralegal. And she just, all the stuff we learned from her backstory in season 3, that's character growth. So to see her, she's not just their secretary. Now she's going to be a partner at the firm. It's now Nelson, Karen, and Paige. No, I'm saying
Nelson, Murdock, and Paige.
Murdock and Paige. I thought that was really cool. So we got to see that very briefly at the beginning of the show. They even have a brand new office. It looks like they're getting what Foggy's always wanted. They got better clients. Matt was always doing pro bono stuff. And so they're coming up in the world. And I like that. And then a tragedy strikes very early on. We get to see Bullseye in a much more comic book accurate outfit. A lot of people still complain, but it's still in development. I always knew from when we saw him in those leaks, we were like, that is going to grow. That's going to evolve. I like the action. That fight between Daredevil and Bullseye is some of the best stuff I've ever seen. I really like it. I like how Kingpin slowly starts. We all knew he was full of shit. I knew from the trailers.
For sure.
Mayor Kingpin, I knew we were going to get that story arc. We kind of knew that from Echo. And I was curious as to how they were going to do it. I'm very happy with the way he was able to manipulate the cops, especially the chief of police. Remember when he tells him at that funeral, you're not going to get away with this, Fisk? We all knew that dude was going to bite it. I mean, it's just no way you stand up to to Fisk like that. And I like that. I like the dynamic between, I wasn't really sure where they were going between him and his wife. She's kind of pulling strings. She's not allowing herself to be as manipulated by Fisk as in the past. She's kind of doing her own thing, and she wants to, that's the problem with power. Once you get it, you don't want to lose it. You don't want to give it back up to the dude who had power in the past. So I like that. I like Matt being this, and I think that's how I would be if I lost Griffin or if I lost another friend. I think I'd be like this guy who just wants to go to work, bury myself in work, and just leave what he did. You know, he put the cowl away because that's what would happen. Because Matt does something in this show, in the opening of the show, that he never would have done, and I fully agree that the only reason he would have done this is if something happened to Foggy or to Karen.
Bullseye should have died.
Shot, he dies at 100%, and he throws Bullseye off of fucking roof. You don't
four-story building,
fucking four-story building, and at the same time saying, I hope he doesn't die. You throw them.
That bitch bounced when he hit the floor.
So, and we were both like, because that's what we would have done.
That's what we wanted.
He lives, and we're like, fuck.
Yeah.
That
sucks.
It's not that we don't want Bullseye to live. I'm sure there's more amazing stuff coming with him. It just kind of cheapens the fact that Matt's emotion. Like, I was really feeling it when he was crying. He takes off his helmet mask and he throws his ass. And as Griff said, that bitch bounced.
Yeah.
And so the emotional aspect of the scene was taken away by the fact that you see him open his eyes and you're like, fuck.
Especially since they're building to Shadowland, which we'll get into later. Matt needs to kill. That has to happen. And that was the opportunity.
Unless you make him kill in season 2, which
probably still could happen.
Yeah.
In addition to what Edward has said, 3 things I think are better upon a rewatch is, and just for clarity, I don't like the show as much as Edward. I'm not a huge fan of this season. I think the cohesiveness of the writing is a little bit better than when we watched it week by week. Things did flow a little bit better, and things did make a little bit more sense. There's a lot more foreshadowing and setup as you go through, as they did set up Red Hook, which is terrible, in the first episode. So I can't fault it for that. And I do very much like that. And I also think along the similar lines, Kingpin, as Edward said, is actually pretty good in this season. And I give him a lot of shit when I first watched it. But going through again, I like it. I like seeing this arc as he's getting used to this new sort of power, these new grounds as now he's in the political sphere, at least much more prevalent in the political sphere. I like how he went through it in like the almost roller coaster that his development and how he adjusted to things went. Whenever he made some progress, he took a couple steps back until he just became the Kingpin again. And I liked seeing that development. One thing that was surprising that I didn't expect to be better, I don't know if you feel the same way, Edward, I kind of doubt it, but BB and the BB report I felt were a lot more cohesive and had a lot more of a reason watching it all at once with this flowing narrative. As before, I think she has like maybe one scene an episode, I'm not 100% sure, maybe there's a couple episodes she's not in, but watching it week by week, she kind of just felt shoot in. There wasn't much of a reason for her to be there. But I liked her a lot more now, seeing everything from start to finish, especially knowing everything, and then seeing it all at once. She seems a lot more like a character. There's a lot more reason for everything to be there. And she was surprisingly just a lot better. And I'm pretty happy about that. I still don't think the show is good, but it's definitely better. And some of the biggest issues with this show is just, perhaps the biggest one, is just the writing. The writing of the show, I'm just not a fan of whatsoever. I think there's just so many things that just don't work for it. And like, in particularly, like when you bring back, I guess, Karen and Foggy, there was this alleged rewrite that's a lot smaller than I think we're initially led to believe. And one of the biggest parts was getting Foggy and Karen back. I get Foggy dying. I wish it was a little bit later in the episode, but having Karen come back and then just leave after 10 minutes, I was not a fan of. Especially after the events of season 1 through 3, it just felt really weird, considering I feel like they've done this before, just in season 3, that I don't think it would happen like that again. Especially with Matt leaving her and then her leaving him. It's just, I didn't like it. I get that it's a very traumatic event and things can happen any which way because of the tragedy and trauma, but I wasn't really a fan of that. I wish she stayed on for the entire season. And I just think the writing of the show just isn't very good. I think the show is boring and very slow. And there are a few episodes that really are just filler. Even mine and Edward's favorite episode at the time of the first watch, I don't know if it's still your favorite episode, but episode 5 with the bank.
It's really still my favorite.
Yeah, it didn't need to be there, though. It did nothing.
No, it does. I agree with you. It doesn't, and even our Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox, is like, dude, that's my least favorite episode of the entire show. There are things that, and I agree with Griffin, we agree and disagree a lot when it comes to Daredevil Born Again. But one of there's a few things that we can agree upon is that the writing's not good. And it's not horrible. It's not fucking She-Hulk or The Acolyte. But it's not what we saw from Netflix. The Netflix writing That is some of the best shit.
Near
and
perfect.
I will die on this hill. I will compare that to The Dark Knight. It
better
is
than The Dark
some of
Knight.
the best writing on television. The fighting, I can't criticize the fighting. The fighting is, they got the same choreographer. So the fighting's on par with the Netflix stuff.
It's the cinematography, I think, that's different. That makes it.
The cinematography is way different. It's grittier in the Netflix show.
It's a lot more. I feel like it's also a lot more real. I know it's because like they have a lot more budget here, so they're having to do a lot more acrobatics. But I feel like it was a lot more real and grounded in the Netflix one.
Yeah, I would agree. And so some of the characters, again, he touched upon it. So I don't like the BB report. I don't like BB. She's
that.
Ben Urich's niece, correct?
Yeah.
So I understand the reasoning behind the character. I understand why the character's there. I understand what she's trying to do. She's trying to pull the rug from under Fisk and let the world know he's shitty. But I also feel like at this point, 90% of the people in New York know he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
They're just going along with it because, he's got pull. But I feel like no one out there is like, oh, no, I believe he's a nice guy. If you do, you're a moron.
There's a lot of morons in this show. There's a lot of people.
But then again...
Yeah, exactly.
We have a president who's...
This show surprisingly mirrored a lot of real-life events before they even happened. And that's kind of scary.
I also feel like the guy who's the intern at Fisk's mayoral campaign, Daniel.
Daniel got worse on a rewatch.
I think that kid is a great actor.
Yes.
And not just because he's James Gandolfini's son. I mean, I saw him in The Many Saints of York, which is a prequel to, The Sopranos, where he essentially plays his dad. I think he's a pretty solid actor. But here, he's just that...
He's a yes man. I hate it.
Yeah. And I hate those guys,
Yeah.
And
I hate that Fisk listened to him.
Is he gonna become this evil guy who just wants to mirror his boss, and he the more he learns about his boss, the more infatuated he becomes with him? Yeah, sure. Is he gonna become a much more interesting character in season 2? Hopefully, because here he just bores the shit out of me. Every time the kid's on screen, he's just this whiny, fucking annoying kid who's kissing up to his boss's ass. That's all the kid is. Does he do some horrible shit? Yeah, he does some horrible shit here, but not enough to get me to be interested in the show. Yeah. The other dude,
the new Wesley.
Wesley 2.0. Wesley was much more interesting. Wesley was menacing. This guy's just fucking annoying. Wesley was creepy as fuck. He did things that you were like, okay.
The way he
this
talks,
guy's just kind of like
his voice.
Yeah. I mean, there's a scene where he like, dumb as fuck to give Karen the gun, but where he's Karen's pointing a gun at him. He just takes his glasses off, starts cleaning them, because he was so sure that nothing was gonna happen. Wesley was cool.
Yeah.
Miss Wesley. This dude just kind of a dumbass. The cop.
Cherry. Fuck Cherry.
Yeah, fuck
no
Cherry.
fault to Cherry. No fault to the actor or the writing
Cherry
the character. It should have just been Mahoney.
100%. Like,
that's it.
The whole time, why? Who's this dude? He sees... If anyone was going to see Matt Murdock remove the helmet and see his identity, it should have been fucking Detective Mahoney. Not...
Every time.
Cherry that we've never seen before in our fucking... All of a sudden, he's a regular at Josie's? Really? I've never seen this fucking dude before. Did any one of you guys ever see this dude at Josie's before? I know it's a shit bar, but if they just didn't introduce him to me the right way. Because, again, he's introduced as a regular at Josie's. He's just always there.
Yeah.
And it's his retirement. I'm like, where the fuck have you been for the last 3 seasons? Because, again, they made this decision to rewrite a lot of the show and connect it to the Netflix stuff.
They definitely didn't.
Why'd you connect it in such a way? Like, where is Detective Mahoney? And he was supposed to be in the season.
He's in here for next season, though. That's confirmed.
He's 100% in here for next season. Jessica Jones was supposed to be in the season. She got written out. She's going to be in the next season. Okay. It just felt...
It's cheap.
Needy and cheap. It's just like, here. But again, you already had this cop that was kind of...
Who could do the exact same thing.
With... He's like the Gordon character. Like, he's like, okay, I'm a good cop. You're doing bad shit, but the shit you're doing helps the city, so I'm going to cut you some slack. Now you have Cherry, who's a regular at the bar, but we've never seen before, and he gets to see Matt, and he's like, okay, but you're going to stop, right? All right, you stop. And so when Matt's like, because of Muse, we'll get into in a minute, dons the mask again, Cherry's like, no, don't get involved, and blah, 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 and you're like, fuck, dude. All right, so I'll just let them die then, I guess. And by the way, Cherry, you're a cop, or an ex-cop, but you're a PI now, so why aren't you after fucking Muse instead of You know, I mean, if you really want Matt to stop, go be a good cop or I don't know, contact your buddies at the force, man. Do something. He's just there.
Yeah.
There's a couple other asshole cops that just show up because, okay. And then Muse. Let's just get into Muse.
Fuck
I was
Muse.
so excited for Muse.
That was one of the biggest
Griffin
things
and I
I'm
have
excited
a
for.
theory. Griffin and I have a theory, and I swear
I
to God,
hate it. I hate
we
the theory.
better fucking be wrong. We'll get into the theory in a minute. But Muse, I was so excited for Muse because I read the whole. Yeah, I read this stuff.
It's
And
a great comic.
he's creepy. I kept saying this in all of our pre-born again videos. How excited I was because of Muse. You know, he's essentially a psychopath with powers, and he kills and he paints murals with people's blood and organs and stuff like that. We saw kind of some of that in the show, but it was just
Too little.
like it was.
2 episodes.
Yeah,
2 out of 9.
it was like the DoorDash version of fucking Muse. Sorry, DoorDash, but it was just lame. He shows up. We knew who he was from the moment we saw him without a mask. I told Griff, I was like,
easily.
that's Muse 100%.
Without a doubt.
All right, so he goes to therapy because Kingpin's an asshole. He goes to therapy with Matt's new girlfriend. You know, he starts. I really thought it was gonna go somewhere else with that, and so Matt shows up, and because of who wouldn't, to rescue his girlfriend from this guy.
Also, just on a real tangent with that scene, I hate the "I save myself" line. It's the equivalent of "We are the Flash." That line sucked hard.
Because I know she shot him, but if Daredevil hadn't shown up and beaten the crap out of Muse, she wouldn't have got that shot in. There's no fucking way. The only reason she got that shot in is because Daredevil was manhandling my boy over there. And there was a lot of people in the comments that were like, well, you don't understand. Muse can actually go toe-to-toe with Daredevil because he knows Taekwondo. Taekwondo guys, the fuck out of here.
He also doesn't even have his inhuman powers, which I get that they don't not supposed to have.
Let's just say he doesn't need them.
He doesn't.
He's a Taekwondo master. All right, so
He was losing.
I don't want to put down any of you Taekwondo enthusiasts out there, but Matt knows Taekwondo as well. He also knows Muay Thai, kickboxing, karate, ninjutsu, and a bunch of other ton of shit. So, and he's a boxer.
Not to mention that Muse had like a hole in his chest. He's not winning.
With his boxing skills alone, he was going to outmaneuver and outstand Muse over there. And again, he has a fucking hole in his chest, so that was a losing battle. No, there was never any doubt in my mind, like, oh, is Muse going to be able to get the upper hand on Daredevil and beat his ass? No, I never thought that for 1 second. Can he outsmart him? Can he do things with his powers? Yeah, but again, he doesn't have his powers,
will the police show up before they finish?
Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought the police were going to show up, shoot Matt, and Muse is going to get away somehow. When Muse fucking dies, you sold him to us like the villain of the show. He fucking dies, and where Griffin and I think that this is going is because of the stupid I saved myself, which is very much the "we're Flash" line. Heather's a horrible girlfriend.
I don't think she's a horrible girlfriend.
Matt tries to warn her about
good one.
She's a horrible girlfriend. She sucks at being a girlfriend. Matt sucks at being a boyfriend.
That's true.
Admittedly. But we've always known that shit. We've always known that. Matt sucks. But Matt tries to warn her about Kingpin. He's like, hey, I've known this dude for years. He's a piece of shit. He's hiding something. He's maneuvering things. He's using you to get to me, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, again, she's a professional. She studies people's minds for a fucking living. She's like, no, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking. He seems like a nice guy. I'm like, okay. From that moment on, I was like, yeah, she's not that great at her fucking job if she's thinking that shit. They go to this party where, that is stupid. I'm like, why the fuck would he have gotten shot for Kingpin? I understand moving the dude out of the way because you value life because you're Catholic. Why take the shot yourself?
It's not like
he heard the shot, and again, Matt's powers.
I don't get why Matt freed Bullseye to begin with when he spent the entire season brooding about it and how he hated and like Punisher gave him a whole lecture about it. I don't care. You're right, but I don't care. Punisher gave him a whole lecture about how it's like, do you feel justified?
And an awesome lecture at that.
Yeah, that Bullseye's still alive, and Matt hated it. And yet he freed Bullseye to go kill Kingpin, and then he saved Kingpin. And then what's now Kingpin dead? Again. The fuck? That is the most circle logic I've ever seen.
Where we are both thinking that they're going to go is that Heather's going to be Muse in season 2, which is going to kind of fucking suck. Can they pull it off? Can they prove us wrong? Hopefully. But or this isn't really Muse. There's a real Muse out there, which again,
I would hate that. Oh, I would hate that so much.
That would be worse. Maybe Heather becomes Muse with her, and she gets the powers, which is like,
I don't.
Can it be
Don't
turned
bring
around?
back
Can it be
Inhumans
good?
in this. Don't put Inhumans in here. We don't need that.
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't
god,
really
hold on.
think
Do you
humans-
think she's gonna end up being immune because she had this traumatic event that triggered her powers that didn't? That's not gonna like manifest till it actually
Probably.
needs it. God
Yeah,
damn it.
probably. And then Matt's gonna have a hard time because he banged her to like actually take her down. Because anytime Matt has a
Okay, he
relationship
took
with
down
someone, he has a hard-
Elektra, but he can't take down fucking Heather. When Elektra, he spent years pining. Oh fuck this.
He didn't take down Elektra.
Okay, you didn't take down,
I mean,
but he would have. He would have killed her.
I don't think he would have killed her. I think they would have ended up banging.
Okay, let's be okay. You're
and
right.
we're
That's
hoping
true.
to see Elektra, but at least I'm desperately hoping, and all signs point to that. But we'll get
In
to that
season
a
3
minute.
though.
Yeah, 100%. And so they're at the end of the show. The part after everything we have said, and again, remember, I'm the one enjoying this. I like this show. I think it's good. I don't think it's shit by any means. But
It's
the
shit
one
by a
thing
lot of means.
that I can't defend, no, I don't think that one bit. And
I know.
I'm the more hardcore Daredevil fan of the two.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm not just trying to defend Daredevil just to defend it. I can admit when shit is shit. Like Daredevil, the movie. It's shit. Everything about that except for the glasses. Yeah, except for the glasses. Sad. The end of the show.
Josie's Heroes.
So before we get to the end of the show, there's a scene where Kingpin sends his death squad to Matt's apartment because he knows he's Daredevil. And shit starts, the shit hits the fan. And Punisher shows up and helps out Matt. I love that scene. Shows up, fucks up these death squad dudes, and they end up having to escape because they blow up the apartment. And there's this whole banter between Punisher, Daredevil, and Karen.
Karen could not have gotten there in time. Just putting that out there.
Instead of, all right, so we're here. It's better for the two of us to handle this shit because Matt's wounded at this point. Punisher's like, nope, I'm better alone, and you're kind of a dick. You're kind of just you're candy ass about stuff. You're not hardcore, so I'm gonna do it alone. He goes on alone, gets his ass fucking captured. Daredevil and Karen show up to the place, and when they get there, they're like, you know what? Like, they didn't have this conversation the entire fucking right there. I'm sure that they did, knowing Karen. So when they get there, Matt's like, you know what? Instead of, Frank's probably in there getting his ass beat. He's probably captured. No, Matt turns around and is like, yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think we need an army. And so I'm like,
So
okay,
anticlimactic.
why the fuck did you wait to get there to come up with this plan? So they retreat. They go to Josie's place. Okay. So I'm thinking, all right, I swear to God. I was like, all right, we're going to end on a high note because he needs an army. When Matt tells Karen, we need an army, and she's like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, I knew we weren't going to get Spider-Man. I fucking knew that because of, Sony sucks. But, I mean, you do have characters that you have the rights to. I swear to God, I thought Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and that hot chick Jessica was going to show up. And
even Miss Marvel may have at this point.
Jessica Jones. Hell, I would have taken that.
Yeah.
Or She-Hulk. I mean, this dude
Even
knows
She-Hulk
a
could've
Hulk.
worked.
I thought I thought they were gonna show up, and I thought they were gonna be like team up and like yeah, let's go find Frank and break him out and let's team up. No, it's Cherry and 4 cops I've never seen in my fucking life,
and just some random civilians.
And I'm like, I couldn't have been more pissed.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm like, and again, it's Disney, so they have all the fucking money in the world. And forget about having all the money in the world. These are actors that we know for a fact that want to be back in these roles and that enjoy playing these roles. And again, you have the rights to these. Why the fuck did we end up with Cherry and fucking 5 cops I've never seen before and, like Griff says, 2 or 3 civilians back there? And they're all standing there, like, looking hardcore badass, too. Like, they're ready for it. And we all know they're going to get their asses
Kingpin just needs to
thrown
bitch
to the
smack
mud
one of
in
them, and
season
they're
2.
dead. They're going to hit the floor, and that's the end of it.
So I'm thinking, what the fuck? Like, why did we... How is this the army? And so Kingpin orders martial law, essentially. And
Which
the
he can't
power
do.
grid's shut down. And shit. And the whole time I'm telling Griff, I'm like, where the fuck's the governor? Because they can't.
They can't do
like,
that.
the mayor has power, but, like, where the fuck is the governor? So we now know we're getting a governor in season 2. Great.
I doubt it.
But again, no, it's been announced.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's been cast. And so I'm like, I understand rights and everything and blah, blah, blah. But again, this is Spider-Man's backyard, man. So like, where the hell is? I get it. Mary Jane doesn't remember who the fuck he is. His best friend Ned's out there eating donuts.
He could still,
and he's living in his own shitty apartment, 100. But he just lost Aunt May. I get that. But you're telling me that this dude's looking out his window. He's seen all this bad shit happening, and he's not like, I gotta put on my fucking Spider-Man suit and go out there.
I hope he shows up in season 2.
It's being rumored that season 2 ends and then it's Brand New Day. So it's got to tie in some way. So then again, Brand New Day's got to tie in some way into season 3. But anyway, although I am able to enjoy it a lot more than Griffin, and I do defend it, I don't think it's shit. I think that there's shit out there. And I definitely don't think that this is shit. I do agree with Griffin. The writing's bad. It's nowhere near as good as the Netflix show. And that ending just fucking left me scratching my head. It still does. This is third time watching it, and I'm still wondering why it ended that way. I would have preferred for him to have said, we need an army, cut, that's it, instead of seeing what we saw.
Yeah. But at least we are getting season 2, and it does look like we're getting Shadowland, at least in some variation. I do think the setup there is a little bit weak.
Are we, though?
Exactly.
Is it Shadowland? Because it really just...
It's the red and black suit at the very least. But even then, it's spray paint. It's fucking spray paint.
He spray-painted black paint over his red suit.
I know.
Damn it, I was so excited.
Suck. I feel like the story here... I feel like some aspects of this season are setting up also the trial of Matt Murdock. I don't know if we're going to get that next season. Just the amount of people he revealed his identity to in this season's insane. I think we're getting it at some point. I
don't want that.
Yeah, I'm not super ecstatic about season 2. I mean, we did just get a season 3 confirmation. I hope it does well. I hope it does well now that they know what to do for the writing. They're starting off strong, I hope. I'm hopeful, but I'm terrified to be hopeful because I had such high expectations for this season. I thought they couldn't do anything wrong, and they did almost everything wrong, and it sucked. I do understand there are redeeming factors. I do 100% agree with that, but I'm hoping to start a lot stronger here. I do want them to bring back Eldon Henson as Foggy, even though I don't like the plot line. I hope they do it. I hope they change it a little bit. I hope it's good. If it's good, I'm happy, but it's hanging on by a thread for me.
I will say this. My expectations, maybe this is a good thing.
It's a good
My
thing.
expectations are low. My expectations for Born Again Season 1 were fucking through the roof. I'm the bigger Daredevil fan. So I got to learn to like lower, which is why, for Batman the Brave and the Bold, my expectations are like fucking low. For Season 2, I hope it's good. We'll be there watching it. We'll be there reviewing it for you guys. But my expectations are nowhere near as high as they were for this season. Yeah. I've learned to tame those. I have no idea what to expect. I know, as Griff said, we're getting a Shadowland. But then again, Charlie Cox was, in an interview, he said that they're doing something that's not of the comics, which I don't know if that excites me. We'll wait and see. I know we're getting a black suit. But again, Shadowland is Matt Keel's. He starts slowly really going to the dark side. He takes over the hand. He becomes their leader. And then Elektra and Spider-Man have to, bring him in, which is why I'm so excited for Shadow, because I would fucking love that. I would love for Peter Parker and Elektra to be like, no, you got to come back to the light. And I like the redemption arc. I'm actually one of the few people that likes the white suit. I don't know how well that's going to translate to, but hey, he had the helmet, which I'm kind of wondering.
It was so silver.
Has he already had a redemption arc, or why he's?
I think it was the armored suit. I think it's the silver and black one.
Yeah, but why was it there? Because also there was a black helmet there. True. So it's not like I just need to spray paint mine. He had a black helmet, so he had a black suit. So did he already go through that kind of event, and then he had to redeem himself and start wearing white? I'm not sure. That would suck. But so we'll see. Griff asked me yesterday who I would want for a villain in season 3. The villain in season 2 is Kingpin still, and probably Muse, female Muse. I hope which not. Is Heather. Heather sucks. Probably Mr. Fear.
Yeah, I can see it. Let us know who you want for season 3, and let us know if you're excited for season 2 of Daredevil Born Again. And if you enjoyed our quick little review of season 1, you can check out our full review episode by episode right now.